Okay. In my freshman year, the theme was Ophio's magic. I grew up in an atheist country, and I never believed in anything that I could not see with my own eyes. For me, the world is run by logic and science, and the last word I wanted to associate with is magic. However, as time goes on, I seem to have understood what Ophio's magic meant, and I want to share 3 OX experiences that I find most unbelievably magical. The first one is joining the cross-country team. Before I came to OS, I hated running. I could never run if I could walk, and my favorite option was not moving at all. However, I joined the cross-country team. To be honest, I don't know why. I think I ran more in the first week of practice than I ever did my entire life. During the first month, I regretted every minute I was in practice, but somehow I never wished to quit. Gradually, I learned that cross-country is not only physically demanding, but a task that requires mental toughness. I also learned that the joy of the sport doesn't only come from finishing my own race, but also from the cheerings I gave and got from my teammates. Most importantly, I learned that life is a long run. It's okay to pace yourself sometimes and slow down, as long as you keep going when you're ready. Running, magically, became a part of my life today that constantly takes me forward. And looking back, what kept me from quitting during my first week, aside from Miss Tomlinson probably will not let me, is this unspeakable spirit of Ophio's that can only be described as magic. For those of you who know me, you know that I'm a science person. And if I can, I want 6 blocks of science and none of the others. However, my favorite 2 classes at OS are actually 2 histories. During my 9th grade year, I was assigned to World History Workshop, taught by Miss Dell. For those of you who don't know what workshop class is, they are a version of class for ESL students. At first, I felt embarrassed, but then I realized it's merits. Since the class only had 4 students and we are all Chinese, I could speak freely, not worrying about my accent or any awkward wordings. From there, I also realized that history is fun, and most importantly, meaningful, just like science is. During Miss Dell's class, I learned about the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, the religious persecution, and the Mayflower. I also learned that the humanity is resilient, meaning that we tend to reach even higher after oppression and low grounds. During 10th grade, I was in Miss Leto's 20th century class. I had to admit, before the start of that year, I was terrified by that class. I was so afraid that that class is going to bring down my GPA. However, during that class, I learned so many important lessons that cannot be measured by grades, in which the most important one is we look at our past mistakes and make sure that we don't make them again. Both Miss Dell and Miss Littlefield have also changed my past mindset. After learning the greatness and terror of mankind, I realized that not only knowing science isn't enough, because we learn science as humans, but we learn history as people. The last OS experience that I want to share is about finding my passion. As I mentioned, I love science, but I always had this question in my mind: why do I love science? One possibility that I'm so afraid of being true is that I only like science because I'm good at it. Before coming to US, I was taught that grades are the only measurement of a successful learning experience. However, my OIS experience has taught me an extremely simple but important lesson. Aside from grades, learning is about learning itself. With that in mind, I look for my passion not from what I'm good at, but from what I enjoy. Luckily, I found it soon, and it was biology. Biology, the study of life, is so fascinating to me, for it uses observation and logic to seek out things that we can once only describe as the God's will. I took biology in 9th grade, and I took honors in 10th. Miss Montgomery was a great teacher, and I cannot thank her enough for leading me to my passion. The moment that I decided I would major in biology was one night in 10th grade, studying for the AP test. I remember so vividly that I was looking at the cellular respiration chapter. I was puzzled by both trying to understand and to memorize the process. When I finally did, I was amazed by the figures and numbers I draw down on my notebook. I was amazed by how such extraordinary, elaborate, and rigorous process can be operated unknowingly every second in our body. I was fascinated by how the numbers of ATP matches up every time, and how the energies we rely on are manufactured by the designated movement of electrons. For the first time in my life, I tasted the feeling of believing in God, for I can't imagine how such process can just happen otherwise. However, I do know one thing. It is a mind that doesn't settle for it's just God that led us to the understanding of these complicated, yet unimaginably beautiful process. I will not settle for just believing. I want to know. I sometimes go to Miss Montgomery with questions that I read from other books, and I enjoy learning these things more than getting A's in any other classes. My curiosity never stopped, and I knew that biology is the thing I want to devote myself to. Unlike others who love biology, I'm not an animal person and I hated hacking. However, I know one thing. I'm the happiest when I'm sitting in Miss Montgomery's classroom in Raleigh, flipping through the pages that drive me to learn more and more. Those are the three most memorable things that happened to me at Oldfields, but my 4-year journey is far more than that. I have changed so much during these 4 years of learning, and it was due to the connections I made with the OS people. I remember at the beginning of 9th grade, when I first met my roommate Lenny and her parents. I forgot what the conversation was like we had, but I do remember one question I asked them: what is Netflix? Time went on unknowingly. Lenny and I became so close that we shared everything with each other. We're the kind of friends that don't necessarily hang out every day, but we both formally know that we got each other's back when we needed it. I was shocked, but also impressed by her effort of getting up at 6 a.m. on a Sunday to go to the bar. And I would wake up at 11:59 to run to the duty office to check in. She sometimes talked forever about writing, which I do not understand at all. But I saw the light shining in her eyes when she spoke. I know that's what true passion looks like. There are so many fun incidents that happen in our room in Jane. For example, I remember Eleni introduced cookie dough to me. And after a month of me addicted to it, she told me that the ones I bought from Walmart were technically inedible. After all, there's one important lesson I learned from this friendship. When we're talking about diversity, we sometimes look at our differences too much that we forgot to see how we're all alike. Oldfields is a very special school, and its most unique quality to me is that it seems to have the ability to bond everyone together like families. My greatest fortune from OS is getting to know the friends that I will cherish all my life: Jessica, Annie, Angela, Chloe, Sophie, and Sarah. You guys have been the most important people to me throughout my high school career. And for me, you are no different than my families. Mr. Zhu and Miss Wenji, I find myself so lucky to have you in my high school career. Miss Wenji, thank you for caring for me in almost all aspects of OS life in the past 4 years. There are so many times that I just crash into a room and spill out all my emotions. Thank you for being there for me. Mr. Zhu, thank you for everything that you taught me both in and out of the classroom. This year's math is so hard without your help, and I miss the badminton season really bad. You guys have done so much for all the international students that far exceeds your responsibilities, and no words can truly express my gratitude. Sophie and Chloe, we're such different people that I could never imagine our friendship before coming to OS. But you guys have been the true fountain of my happiness for the past 4 years. And the happiness you brought me is so pure, yet powerful, and I can fully be me when with you. Sarah, our friendship begins with badminton, but the drawing you brought me, but you have brought me drawing on both on and off the court. You're such a happy person, and we share so many moments together. I miss you so much, and I hope to see you after your midterm next week, because I desperately need to practice my badminton skill right now. Annie, there are too many memories we had, and every one of them is precious. You once asked me to help you describe you with 3 words for some question for college app. One of them I used was aspirant. Though the impression you first gave me is that you're just too lazy to do anything. But as 4 years goes by, I have seen both your growth and strength. You took care of me, both in ordering for me in all the restaurants we have been to, and being there for me when I'm the most vulnerable. I truly do love you, but please don't mention this to me again. Angela, thank you for packing, moving, cleaning, cooking, and almost being my mom for the past 4 years. There are many things to say, but the most important one is I simply cannot live without you. And finally, Jessica Fan. I have thought about what is my thank you note to you for so long, but I can't seem to find any accurate words that I will use to even get close to the significance you meant to me. You're my sanctuary, my greatest support. You're the one that always inspires me. We have had a lot of fun moments that I will never forget my entire life. But what I cherish more are those conversations we had in your room about anything we could think of. True friendship is about companionship and support, but the most valuable friends are those who we can learn from and grow with. I have learned a great deal from your kindness, humility, tolerance, and compromises. Most importantly, you taught me that we sometimes have to embrace our vulnerabilities. All those things shaped me into who I am today, and I say this with all the sincerity. You are my dearest friend and forever irreplaceable, and I hope we will be in each other's life forever. So here I am. I have imagined what my senior speech would be like since freshman year, but this year was definitely not how I imagined my high school career would end. I wish so deeply that I could actually be there. While OS is an island in deep mountains without any voice, it is filled with the magic that can make you believe in things you have never imagined. But most importantly, it gives you the power to believe in yourself. There are times at OS that you will feel doubt, boredom, and even pain. We have all been there. But trust me that they are all a part of this magical OS experience that you can't yet understand, and I still can't explain. There are one thing for sure. If you can choose to believe it, just like I did, the OS magic will drive you to become the best version of yourself. And finally, I'm proud to say that my name is Laura Ren, and I'm finally a 4-year senior. Yay!
Laura, that was amazing. Does anybody have any questions for Laura? Can you see the chat, Laura? They're sending you congratulations. Miss Bowers just said spectacular. Good. Okay. Glad you can see them.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Laura. That was fantastic.
Thank you, Mr. Perfume.
Tell Harry Chen I said hello.
I asked Harry Chen to come, but he's too busy, obviously.
Well, tell him when he has time in his schedule. I want to talk to him.
Okay, I will.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Maddie, you want to round out our morning meeting? Thank you so much, Laura. That was awesome. We miss having you on campus.
I miss you guys too.
I just want to say again, good job, Laura. Your speech was amazing. We miss you. I hope you're doing well with remote learning and that we can see you soon. With that, I hope everyone has a great rest of your day and a great weekend. Goodbye, everyone.
All right.